My bench.
What the frick is that? Hello! This feels weird, like I'm lecturing class. Welcome to the Filmmakers Society. Very glad you could all come. We're just going to do a kind of basic overview of what the plan is. We're going to do four productions a semester, so like short films. There will be rap parties organised at possibly Why Not, but we're negotiating Banshees after every production, just for socials. We're also going to do sort of Christmas pub quiz at Maggie's to try and raise some extra money. That may be a collaboration with Union, we're still discussing that. But it should be fun, sort of party you can all come to and hopefully raise a fair bit of money. And at the end of the year, we're going to have a big premiere party and show off all your hard work and do like Oscar-style awards that you all get to vote for within the society and stuff. I don't know why that one's bold, but these are production dates. This PowerPoint's also going to be put on the Facebook, so you don't necessarily need to copy them down right now if you don't want to. Should be noted, for us to be able to squeeze in 4 productions per semester, we have some overlap between the post-production of the to the pre-production of the next one. That happens for all 4.
It might not, some of the dates might seem like they might be quite short, but I mean, these are really like, they're short films, 15 minutes or less. If you've done these sort of short films before, you can get them through, you can film them and do stuff very quick.
Yeah, and like we give you, there's a whole week basically for each section, and it's really just up to each production team to kind of work out when you're free. This is why we're not necessarily going to have regular meetups like this. It's more going to be like, we'll organise a production crew. I'm all nervous now, there's probably caffeine kicking in. And then you guys will like message each other and work out when you're free during the week to do production meetings, to do a casting, that sort of thing. We've got mandatory roles that have to be in every single production. So once we've selected a production, you guys kind of put yourself forward for these. Got obviously the director. You can get different types of director. Maybe you want to be more sort of just focusing on the actors, or maybe you want to direct the cameraman a lot. Obviously try and discuss that in production meetings. The screenwriter will usually be the person whose idea it is, but if you have like a really, really good idea but aren't quite sure how to do scripts yet, you can try and collaborate with someone else via the Facebook page and say like, I have an idea, can someone else write it? And then it'll all get done.
I think the thing that can also be pointed out is that the scriptwriter doesn't actually have to be in the kind of group, because I think the way that we're doing it is we're putting scripts
like if you literally just want to submit a script and then back off and do your own stuff, you can, and then just like turn up at the end and see what happens. Like scriptwriter and editor are obviously roles that can potentially just be in like one of the 2 weeks. Or you can be involved if you want to be. You can just turn up and lurk like, this is my idea and you're ruining it. If you want, production assistant sounds kind of boring, actually really important. You basically just maintain the set. We'll actually be giving you enough money for your productions that you can pay your actors, which if anyone's tried to make short films themselves is kind of a big deal, because that's usually the thing that gets skipped.
But if you're starting your own production, don't ask for money, because that just means kind of dickish.
Nice. But yeah, so the production assistant kind of maintains the set, makes sure that everyone's happy, and also takes notes of like, oh, that was a dud shot, it was a fantastic shot, that makes the editing process go so much faster. So it's a really important job, and if you're not quite sure what role you want to do yet, it's a good one to just be part of the production and see what everyone else is doing. Same with the runner. If you're not quite sure what you want to do yet, or you just know you want to be involved in production, and you're not too fussy, it's a good one to just be part of it and see what other people are doing, and like you can actually contribute quite a lot to the production just by being a runner. I used to think it wasn't very much, and I ended up being a runner for a BBC production for like a few days, and like literally we did so much.
Yeah, runners are quite
they hold the whole production together.
Yeah, like I mean, for example, like we were doing something in like filming in the summer up at the kind of, where's it again, Arthur Seat. And it was like, basically I had to do like a combination role of like runner and cameraman, and we just like throughout the whole thing, it was just like, yeah, we wish that we just had these runners, like somebody would just offer it, because
we had a lot going wrong in this production, and we had to have, I was the director and I had to run back for props and super glue twice, which meant, because like there wasn't a separate runner, meant the entire production had to go to a stop. He had to run for batteries at one point, so like we had to wait a few hours for that. Like having someone who's not core to production to just go and do other things really can save you hours in a production, which like if you're paying for a location or paying for costumes or no, we get equipment for free. Hey. The uni has said that we're allowed to borrow their equipment for free, which is really exciting. So you don't have to worry about paying for that in your budgets. We're giving you, if the union gives us the amount of money we're asking for, you'll have around £200 per production, which for a short film, not bad. If you have an idea that really requires more, then you can maybe try and discuss with other people, say like if they're doing a cheaper production, like one that maybe only requires one actor, sort of thing, and be like, hey, can you have some of your budget? Like, completely okay, just like let us know so we know what's happening with the money so we can like feed back to the union. Editor, obviously pretty self-explanatory, you get to edit the stuff. It should be noted, if you want to go with camera operator or editor and even more technical roles, and like you don't have experience in this stuff, we can potentially get the lecturers who do video production and script writing and stuff in for like a guest speaker session if people really want it. So like, and we'll turn up on the first day of shoot, most shoots as well, and just be like, this is what you're doing if you're really confused. So like, you're never just going to be like throwing equipment and no idea what you're doing. We're also insisting on having a behind the scenes on each production. This is mostly just because this is a society, it's meant to be fun as well as productive, and I was thinking everyone would quite like something to look back on at the end of the year that's not just the films you made, but kind of the fun times behind the scenes as well.
I think with this role, if you have your own kind of, if there's people with their own cameras and stuff,
yeah,
it's
like
quite
it's
a good
really
role
good
to
one for
have.
you.
Yeah.
We're also looking into getting a Kickstarter campaign to try and get some extra funds in so we can have even more money for socials and for the premiere, and just anything left over goes to your productions. So, and to kind of make that more something people want to give to, we'll put the behind the scenes on online there so people can see what we're doing and be like, oh, that's cool, give money. So yeah, we've made that a mandatory one. If we get a lot of people applying for roles, like way more than we need, we're having overflow roles. So if you get like loads of people applying for director, it's quite a popular role generally. We can discuss co-directing if people are up for that. It can be quite stressful, particularly on shorter things. I don't think we're ever going to have a big enough production to warrant kind of a second unit director, unless somebody's really ambitious. So the other option is assistant director. Script editor is probably a good one if maybe it's your first screenplay. Just sometimes you'll think it looks great, but like having another pair of eyes just look it over like officially. Camera assistant, kind of pretty self-explanatory. You look after the stuff. If it's raining, you do the umbrella sort of situation.
Boom.
Boom operator, always a fun one. That's really if someone owes you a favor and you get them to do your boom. But it's really important in terms of sound if you are doing like a big pitch, like a big scene. If you can't just do like close-up dialogue, if you're doing a big scene, you do need a boom. So like it's worth kind of bribing a friend to do it if you need it. And yeah, always want more runners. Runners are great. There's then specialty roles, which kind of, they won't be necessary for every production, but say if you want to do a documentary or even just do shots documentary style where the presenter like walks and the camera moves and everything like that, you'll need a focus puller. It's basically just a secondary camera person. Weirdly quite a highly paid role in the industry for someone who just kind of does that, but it's quite technically difficult and looks really cool if you do it well. So like if you're wanting that kind of shot in your production, let us know and we'll include that on the crew lists. Grips, if you're just going to have a lot of movement pieces, you need someone to kind of run behind the camera and make sure no wires are tripping anyone up. We don't want anyone getting hurt. And yeah, if you want to do like a period piece or horror or something, I believe there are at least some people who signed up who are doing costume. And other people who aren't doing costume might just be interested. I'm not doing costume, and I made about 5 medieval costumes over the summer, so it's just something fun if the production calls for it. And effects, we're kind of leaving open for you guys to interpret. We do have access to After Effects in post-production, which is really cool because it means you can do green screen and explosions if you should so wish, plus some other technical stuff. But if you want to do any kind of on-set stuff, it might help just to have an extra person there. So we'll include that on the crew list if you just think you need another hand, or like someone to squirt fake blood off camera or something. Which I have the recipe for, by the way, if you need fake blood for anything. In terms of what ideas get made, seems kind of complicated, but it's the simplest idea we came up with. You guys, if you have an idea, try get it into a script format if at all possible. The process moves so fast that we can't really have people just submitting raw ideas. So like if you don't know how to do a script or you're unsure, try and do the collaboration before the deadline for the pitch, because it's just so much easier if you have a script. Like literally pre-production starts the day after the pitch deadline, so we need a script right from go. You don't have to do the video, but if this was a proper industry thing, it's very common to have to pitch to actual producers face to face. We decided in terms of time saving, not very practical, but it's probably good practice if you do want to go into the industry just to like get a friend to film you doing a verbal pitch, because it gets you more used to doing it, and you can sell the themes that might not be obvious in the script and kind of explain yourself a little bit. It might help you get a few more votes. A disclaimer, just in case one of you wants to do a really, really crazy expensive one, or I don't know, I just feel safer with a disclaimer. We probably won't use that. But yeah, we'll then put, I don't know if Facebook does polls anymore, they keep changing it. But there'll be a poll on the Facebook page, and all of you guys just basically vote for whatever ideas you want to get made, even if you're not on the crew, like you get a say. So the productions are all numbered, so like each deadline, you just go on, see what's been put on, and be like, I like that one. And then yeah, whichever gets the most votes gets made. So pretty democratic. We figured you guys would prefer that rather than us just being like, we like that one, and not really getting a variety of ideas. Because you guys might come up with the types of films you want to make that we'd not think of, and we do want like biggest variety of films we can think of.
Yeah, we're basically like really pushing for people to be quite creative and maybe think a little bit outside the box. One of the things is that I know horror is a very popular genre amongst students, and that's fine. That it's great. Lots of people into horror. But you have to at least come about with like a creative angle or something. What I'd suggest is maybe trying to either mix genres or go with something that you may not think, a lot of people may not have thought of, kind of thing. That's my suggestion, but you don't have to do that. No reality TV.
But you can do all sorts of different types. Like I mentioned, if you want to do a documentary, people vote for it, you can make a documentary. We are open to negotiating with the Dance Society if you want to make a music video. Just need to work out licensing for music, but we have a little bit of money in the budget for licensing if people want to do that. Is also later on in the year, the Drama Society are saying we could potentially film their showcase and they would pay us for this. So like we'll get like the whole thing of filming theatre is an actual style that has emerged, so like we'll get to some of that as well. If people want to do stop motion, we can look into that. So like just all the different types of film you can think of, really. Or you can just do genre pieces if you want. It's up to you guys.
Should we also talk about the kind of BAFTA G-film?
Yeah. All of our the films that get made, we are going to try and enter them into as many film festivals and competitions as we can, just because it's always cool if you win something. In terms of BAFTAs, you guys would have to have a personal membership of that to enter it yourselves. You do get a discount as a student, so we just kind of wanted to say that because it would be cool if one of our societies films won a BAFTA.
By the way, like it might sound kind of far-fetched, but the last when I was in college, I had like a friend who like made a film there, just a student-made kind of film, and they ended up getting nominated for a young person's BAFTA because they just went, screw it, I'm going to enter this. And
yeah, and they have lots of different categories, like particularly for younger people, so like the odds of you getting them are quite higher. And like yeah, if you're a member, you also get to like go along to, they have exclusive parties and people come in and talk and stuff, which is generally just cool if you're interested in going to that career. because you can learn cool stuff.
But there's plenty of like, smaller student film festivals in Edinburgh based, and it sounds kind of big, but like truthfully, like there's a lot of local stuff, and it's really kind of great to get involved in.
Yeah, so if you guys know of any film festivals or competitions that we maybe haven't thought of, feel free to just like tell us, and we'll try and get you in there as well. But we'll try and get all the obvious ones we can as well. Also, there usually is restriction on all film festivals in terms of how many films as the same group of people can enter. So if you work with a crew in semester 1 and really enjoy that and want to work with the same crew in semester 2, to increase the odds of winning stuff, there is the possibility of getting your script translated into Gaelic. We have a contact, and entering into the Film G festival. Quite a small festival, but it gets a lot of funding, so the prizes are really good. Like they literally, I think after 4th prize, it's £1,000s worth of equipment. Go film stuff, or some of them they'll even give you the prize is a job at BBC and stuff. It can be quite good. Obviously, if you don't speak Gaelic, it's a bit daunting the idea of doing that, but it's an option if you really want to work with the same people again and still want that option of winning something. We have pitch deadlines, which, if you're paying attention, you'll notice are the day before all the pre-productions start. So you guys put that in, and then we do the votes that day, and then by Monday we should have basic crews, and then you guys can all meet up. I know it's a bit cramped, I know it's a bit rushed, but we wanted to try and get as many people's ideas made as possible.
And plus, we're kind of trying to avoid the exam season because it's might get quite busy by that time for some of us.
The way we've got it scheduled, all of them, the final productions, post-production should be done before anyone's exams or essays are due by at least a week, because we don't want people feeling torn between the two. That's not fair. So it is cramped, but it's cramped for a reason. And I know particularly this first pitch deadline is kind of terrifying, unless you already have a script floating around. We're aware we're probably going to get far fewer pitches for this first deadline, just because there's less time to think about it. But as much as there's that thing about creators hate deadlines, I always find I work better when the deadline is closer than about 2 weeks away, because I will wait until the final week to do the script. So, as scary as close deadlines can be, they can actually also be a driving force to force you to write, which is pretty cool. And then, fundraising! Like I said, we're going to have the quiz at Maggie's. We have to have at least one fundraising event at Maggie's per the union contract. So we're going to do a quiz around Christmas time. That will also be our general Christmas party. We'll charge admission for people to get into that, so you can bring your friends, and any money we make off of that will just go right back into the pot. So potentially bigger productions next semester, or maybe better equipment than we're borrowing already, whatever you guys want, or just a bigger premiere. And it'll be fun, and it'll be our send-off, because obviously if we finish productions before all the exams hit, we then won't see you again until Christmas, until this party. So it's a nice little hello again before we all disappear. We're going to do as many bake sales as we can, because bake sales actually make a fair amount of money, and I like bake sales. Try and do little cupcakes with movie strips on them or something. We're discussing possibly getting a deal with Banshee. A lot of sports and societies have this kickback deal. If you're in another sports society, you might know about it already. Basically means that if you're a member of the society and we have a deal with them, we can go there, get in for free, and then every time you buy a drink, if you say what society you're from, they will give some money to us. I think the kind of default one with the union seems to be why not. The reason we're discussing Banshees is because it does have a movie cinema, so it's a bit more relevant. But either way, there's going to be some sort of setup with a club, and that's also probably going to be where we have most of our wrap parties. So all our socials basically be there. Like I said, we're going to get paid to do the showcase. Yay. And we're going to sell tickets to the premiere. Obviously all you guys would get in free because it's your premiere. But you can bring your friends, your parents, whatever. And they pay for a ticket, and then Maggie's will have the bar open, or wherever we do it, and get drinks, get a photographer in, do the whole red carpet shoot, really make it a fun night. And yeah, because obviously 8 short films in one go is a lot to watch, we'll kind of split them up